Hey everyone, welcome back to Namakate Aquatics, and in today's video we're going to be showing you some of our breeding techniques that we do use to breed some of our predators. Today's technique that I'm going to be showing you for breeding predator species, for an example Tilapia achilis, is a technique that involves having a mbuna species that the Tilapia achilis can predate on. Early in the breeding season last year, September 2025, we harvested a lot of Metroclima estrae, and it was more than enough than what we needed to have to grow out. For an example, over here you can look, we have the group that were pulled from 4 to 5, 6 females, and they are growing out currently in our hatchery. Growing out, you will see that there are a lot of individuals that are split. For example, you have your orange morph females, you have 1 or 2 individual omorphic males, you have your normal standard blue males, you have OB individuals, there are 1 or 2 MCATs in there, and they are currently growing out in our hatchery. Because the Metroclima estrae from Minos Reef have a lot of juveniles growing out inside of the greenhouse, we decided that we wanted to add the Tilapia achilis. Now, adding the Tilapia achilis to the concrete vat, there are 3 things that we have to take into account for this technique to work. First off, the Metroclima estrae Minos Reef that's within the concrete vat with the Tilapia achilis will not be fed for the next 3 to 4 months. It all depends on the Tilapia achilis if they will start to predate or not. Because of the Metroclima estrae harvested in October, we were able to add Tilapia achilis as a predator species to the concrete vat. This particular species predates in the wild by using its mouth as a gasket. The lips are quite swollen, and it is used as a sealant around rocky crevices within the reef in Lake Malawian, and the Tilapia achilis will swim with its mouth and push it within a rocky crevice, and then it will suck the water, sealing it off the rocky crevice with its lips. The water is sucked in and it goes out via its gills at the back. Now, unsuspected smaller mbuna juvenile fry or species will be within these rocky crevices, hiding away from bigger fish because they are being predated on. And Tilapia achilis has found this ecological niche within the lake and started focusing on it within its evolution. Males and females will have very thick swollen lips due to the abrasive nature of the method of feeding, and this is for them their primary source of food within Lake Malawi. Within the concrete vat, the Metroclima estrae, Minos Reef, and Tilapia achilis were not fed for the next 3 months. And what will happen is the Metroclima estrae will naturally start grazing on the outbucks within the concrete vat, and they will breed normally during the rest of the breeding season. However, the Tilapia achilis will start to predate on the fry that's being released within the concrete vat. Within the Metroclima estrae, as a species, you will have the OB gene. Now, the OB gene is linked to evolutionary paths where it will help with the camouflaging of the individuals as they are moving within the reef. It helps with aggression as well. Camouflaging for predators, making it hard for the predators to spot them, and it makes their survival rate higher. Whereas with for breeding, the aggression of the males are not directly more on a OB individual female, because it's harder for him to spot the OB individual female within the reef, whereas with a orange, highly conspicuous orange female, that's more visual for him to court.
Now you would be wondering, why did I started rambling on the Metrioclima estuary having that OB factor within its evolutionary path for curbing aggression and for camouflaging. I do not want to spoil this, but I will later explain what was really interesting with this additional factor that we need to take into the equation. Over there you will see the concrete vat has been starting to drop, and the water level, the Metrioclima estuary, they're all congregating down at the bottom. The rocky crevices, the rocky frameworks have been removed, and all of the fish are currently, they're just waiting for what's going to happen now. I was busy draining this pond, and it's been a while. There's a lot of sediment that has been accumulating at the bottom of this concrete vat. As you can see over here, I was really a little bit frustrated to catch the fish and then to remove this build-up sediment at the bottom. After catching all of the fish and sorting them out, I noticed this Chindongo Salosi Taiwanese reef female were basically swimming within the concrete vat as well. Well, next door, with the concrete vat on the left, Chindongo Salosi is present, and sometimes you have one or two individuals that tend to jump. Luckily for this one, she was jumping into a pond with water. After sorting out all of the females, I retrieved your stereotypical orange female, the omorphic one, which carries that omorphic genetics. This gives me a lot of time, ample time enough to sort out the broodstock as well of Metrioclima estuary, as I do have a lot of them growing out inside of the hatchery. This particular female carries the omorphic gene. I've harvested a lot of omorphic males from her. This is your stereotypical OB female. Now, this is the type of OB female that I usually pull fry from if I need the perfect OB type, the red-orange perfect OB type without the omorphic genetics being present. And this is the type of female which is very beautiful for me. I am a sucker for this type of OB that you do get from Lake Malawi. So within the concrete vat you will have two types. You will have your orange female and you will have your OB female, which carries the OB orange blotch gene. During the breeding season, with the 3 months in that window period, a lot of Metrioclima estuary females were holding. The male was breeding constantly, and that's exactly what we wanted. We wanted the females to come to full term and release their fry within the rocky crevices within the setup of the concrete vat. After draining down the pond, we could only get OB Metrioclima estuary fry that were going into the juvenile phase. They were the only ones that made it, and unfortunately the orange type females that were born from the fry, they were all predated on and killed off by the Chilla tilapia chillis. Now on the previous clip you saw the subdominant Metroclima estrae MCAT male. Now this one is the second dominant within the hierarchy of the pond, a breeder male, a marmalade cat, and you will notice that his yellow on the belly is not as high as this one. This is the main breeding male within the concrete vat that has all the breeding rights. Now this male in particular produces a lot of omorphic offspring crossed back to the OB females that are omorphic. While draining the pond and catching all of the fish, I got this odd individual and immediately identified it as Pseudotropheus pollet from Lion's Cove. It's a female from the pond on the right hand side just next door. She was a jumper as well. Adding another jumper into the mix. This is another odd individual in the concrete vat, and the only Labiotropheus that this one could have been was Labiotropheus trevivasi from Chilumba. Now another interesting thing is this: I got this Labiotropheus trevivasi that was growing out in between the rocky crevices. Now this is from a pond next door that has a overflow that drains into this pond, and this fry escaped from the pond next door and was growing out in between the rocky crevices with the Metroclima estrae. And you can see that from being a free swimming fry up until this juvenile size, this Labiotropheus trevivasi carrying the OB genetics made it and naturally grew up between the rocks. This particular individual is a Cynotilapia zephroidus from Kubwe. I initially imported this male last year, July 2025, to add some new genetics into my breeding population, which is swimming next door, from this particular species. The gene pool currently is deep enough, but I just wanted that little bit of X factor to put this male in with the breeding population and just to expand the gene pool, or as they would say, the gene bank. This is the male swimming next door that is currently breeding with the females. He's a spectacular individual, beautiful yellow casting where it is supposed to be on the blaze. And here we do have what we worked for and waited for 3 months. The Chilla tilapia achilles female and male that were released into the pond as a breeding pair spawned. I caught the female and she immediately released her fry within the bucket. It was after 20 to 21 days and they were fully formed, free swimming, and there were no initial defects within the spawn. This is the female and you can see that she's in excellent condition. She's got that chrome copper casting on her side and the conditioning is perfect. And this is all due to the predation that took place within the concrete vat. As you can see here, this male that were basically siring the offspring is in perfect condition. And the lips, you can see there, that bottom lip is a little bit swollen, and that's what we are looking for. That is what we want. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video and that it is a little bit something different and a little bit something new. One can try and replicate this within an aquarium setup as well. 500 liters upwards, you will be able to replicate this type of style of spawning predatory type species if you take the advantage of what nature gives you. In this case it was mbuna. I really hope that you enjoyed the video and I will see you in the next one.